everybody, welcome to it. You are watching Let's Talk with me, Destiny Toli, on In the Community Network Station. I'm really excited to be with you guys on Black History Month. This is the show that brings you all the information about all things happening in your community and all around the world. So make sure that you are tuning in and calling in as well. This is the show where you can call in, and of course, right here it is 240-455-0096. So give us a call, and like I said, let us know how you are celebrating Black History Month and also how things are going in your community. Now, today's conversation is going to be absolutely interesting. I mean, would you introduce a man who sags his pants to your parents? Would you take him home and be like, hey, mom and dad, this is my boyfriend? Or would you just feel embarrassed and probably cringe at how he's dressed? Or what about a man who just throws around the N-word casually and while talking to you or your friends or family members? Would you take him home? Would you also want him to be around your circle? And a man who calls women derogatory terms like a word I will probably not say right now. So make sure that you guys engage with us and tell us your thoughts on these topics. Like I said, our number is 240-455-0096. We'll also be getting a call from an awesome educator who will be just giving us her opinion on today's topic. But of course, I am joined by an amazing young lady who is an author, an upcoming actress, and someone who I think is absolutely fabulous. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl.
Please introduce yourself. Tell our viewers who you are.
Hey, my name is Tania, and I'm the guest on the show Let's Talk with Destiny.
Welcome, Tania, girl. I love your look. I love your lashes,
Thank
the hair.
Thank you. I try.
Now, tell me something. Would you introduce a guy who sags his pants to your parents? Do you find anything wrong with that kind of appearance and look? I mean, it's also known to be very popular, in the Black community. And is it something you would embrace, or is it something you find really, repulsive?
In my opinion, I feel like that you should accept people for who they are. Like we don't know why people do things in this world.
Yeah.
But I would personally would have no problem introducing a boy that sags their pants to my parents, because it's not what you see, it's what's inside. So it's not, you can't judge a book by its cover. Like, people might think a boy that sags their pants ghetto, this and that, and he might be, like a good person. So I like, moral of the story, I feel as though you shouldn't judge nobody because of their appearance. You should get to know them and understand them and see where they coming from.
Because I think it starts with us defining culture. I mean, in a lot of the cultures, this is embraced. A lot of people actually don't find anything wrong with it. And even as you look at the hip-hop culture, hip-hop on its own is a culture, and that's also something that people appreciate, because it also kind of gives men a certain kind of presence and dominance that makes them feel good. But you mentioned something about not judging a book by its cover. So you think that, people shouldn't necessarily look at someone and think because their pants are sagging that they're a gangster or they have negative motives.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And what message are they sending out? What kind of message are they sending out to maybe the young people looking up to them, or even people within the community when they walk around with maybe their pants sagged?
I really don't think they're sending a message, because everybody has their own mind. Like, you can't make another man sag their pants. If they feel as though that's what they want to do, that's on them. But you can't make somebody sag their pants. It's just what they prefer, their preference.
And now, even from sagging pants to even the idea of, men using terms like the N-word and just throwing them around very casually, which is another conversation that is very interesting in relation to what we're talking about in culture and what people are really able to get away with, or what they feel comfortable with doing, so to speak. Is that a term you would deem as, okay for people to use, especially in this day and age, within the context of what black people also go
I
through?
feel like that if black people say the N word, we can say it to each other. Like, but I feel like if you not, in my opinion, if you're not black, you shouldn't be saying the N word. But I feel like we can say it because think about it. That's all you hear in music videos. So it's like it became a era for people because it's been happening for so long.
But I mean, you said something really striking, that it's said a lot in music videos.
Yeah.
And do you think that also perpetuates a gang mentality where people are like, well, I'm going to join a gang, we're going to use the N word, we're going to sag our pants, just really pushing that kind of narrative that really makes maybe people within the comfortable when they look at a group of a certain group of black men? Or do you think that it's something that people also need to be vigilant of, not to judge a book by its cover?
Yeah, I feel like it's for people to not judge a book by its cover. Like I said, you can't make somebody do something that they don't want to do. The using the N word is not gonna. I don't feel like it's gonna persuade anybody to join the gang. It's just a word.
It's just a word.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's just a word to us. But speaking of Black History Month, a lot of black people do not like that N word.
Yeah.
Just because how it was used back then.
Okay. And what about people who have the question, why should we accept this kind of behavior? A lot of parents feel like all the children in the community are role models to the young children. And if that young man has a younger brother at home who's looking up to him and he's sagging his pants, using the N word, and that's him and his friends, and the younger brother thinks, okay, that's how I want to look because my brother does it, or this is what I'm aspiring to become. What about people who feel like, well, no, that's not what we want in our community, that's sending out the wrong message?
I just think like everybody is their own person. Like if someone has a younger sibling, and I just think that you should just, if you a role model, you should just give advice, just tell him or her just to be better, just, I feel like if you're a role model, then you just want whoever's looking up to you to do better than what you doing. So 9 times out of 10, a role model, they not doing good, or if they doing bad, they're gonna try to persuade someone that's looking up to them to do better than them.
And a lot of people have the idea that the best way to lead is by example.
Yeah.
So if I'm looking at the way you live your life, and I'll aspire to look like you, probably walk like you, and dress like you if I'm a young person. And I think this also transcends into another area, which is after the young men maybe sag their pants and, maybe they're just doing their thing, the notion of them now using the B word maybe to communicate with women, So now it's like, well, hey, B, give me this or that. And we're aware that, the strip clubs and stripping is quite a big thing in the United States. When you go to just different places, and not even just the United States. I'm from South Africa, and there's strip clubs there too, and they've become more and more popular. And do you think that gives men the B word on top of maybe sagging their pants, and doing all these other things?
I think that no male in no shape or form should call a female out her name. That's just my opinion. It's disgusting. It's derogatory.
Yeah.
And it's just uncalled for. I feel like if you don't want somebody to talk, however you would treat your mother, just treat another female.
And how do we as a people, look into or try and work around culture, or look into culture? Like, how do we work around getting to learn about other people's cultures, what's accepted in this culture, what's unacceptable in this culture? How do we do that? would you say, maybe integration and just maybe meeting other people?
Yeah, meeting other
traveling.
people,
Yeah.
interacting with other people, um, visiting other places,
Mm.
taking trips, reading books,
Yeah, yeah.
watching movies, documentaries.
Because where I come from, the American dream is a reality. It's a real thing, and everyone is gunning after the American dream. And to some extent, it seems like the American dream comes with the idea of wanting to do certain things that are done by the hip hop culture, by people within the United States. And I mean, I'm seeing young men walk around with saggy pants, calling women the B word, because they see it in music videos, they see it as a culture. And because they want to be a part of it, they want to belong, they want to do things that are associated with that culture, including the things I'm mentioning. And so, and even looking at where we are as a society, this is Black History Month, and we have Black women who are now independent, who are working very hard, who are able to provide for their families, but maybe have to compete with men in the workspace. And I'm wondering, does that maybe make men uncomfortable to the point where they feel like they need to maybe call women certain terms so that they take back their power, take back the dominance? What would you say about that? Do you think men feel powerful, maybe calling women these terms because it gives them back their power? If a woman can do it, maybe a woman is taking my position as a man because women have this thing: if a man can do it, so can I, which apparently men hate.
I feel like that a man, if you a female and you allow a man to talk to you like that, then that's how he's gonna carry it. Like, men only do what you allow, or people. Period. If you making it comfortable for him to call you out your name, then he's gonna keep doing it, and as he's keep doing it, that's him having power over you. So I feel like when men call females that they want to be in control, I do agree with that.
Yeah, yeah. And do remember, guys, this is a call-in show, so make sure you are calling us in. Our number is right here. It is 240-455-0096. Let us know your thoughts on today's topic and conversation. And, of course, engage with us because we would love to hear from you. And like I said, we'll be getting a call from an educator who'll be giving us her perspective and her opinion on this very heated but very interesting topic. Now, I just want to ask you a personal question. I mean, you said when we started that, you don't judge a book by its cover. But at what age do you think a man should stop sagging? I mean, and that's a real because my friends and I also, wonder.
Yeah, like I feel like once you hit a good 35, before that, yeah. 21, yeah. 21, after 21,
let it go.
Yeah, just let it go. Just leave it to the other generation.
Yeah.
Because, no, that's not, you don't want to be somebody's grandfather and you still sack your head.
Yeah. All right. And do you think this notion that we're talking about with, men maybe sagging their pants and calling women certain terms is just in the African community among Black people?
No,
I think it extends?
I think it extends because it's millions of people that go through the same problems out here, not just the Black community. It's other issues with other races other than the Black community.
And what do you think we could do as a community to change this, to better, our standards and to kind of lead by example?
I feel like, just try to stay every day, just try to stay positive. It's a lot of communities have community meetings. You get together, put your input on certain stuff within your community. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree with you. I think it's so important for us to also have conversations, though, as Black people. I mean, this is Black History Month, and like what you and I are doing, I think is so important because we're having real conversations about what's happening within our communities. These are realities that exist. And I can imagine a young girl's parents feeling like, why is she bringing a gangster into our house? He's got tattoos, he's sagging his pants. I probably saw him smoking weed in the corner last week, the mom might think. So through having conversation, I think it allows people to say, well, you know what?
Yeah, maybe if you have a conversation with the man that sags his pants, you would really get to know him and, oh, he's a cool guy.
Yeah, yeah. And even the idea of, you touched on something which also stood out to me, which is only black people are allowed to use the N word.
In my opinion, I feel like that's the truth. I feel like what black people should be the only one. We got a call for so long. I'm not saying it's okay that we call each other that, but I'm more comfortable of somebody that has the same color skin as me to call me that than somebody that has a half the same color skin as me.
But don't you think if it's maybe in a song and the person who doesn't have the same skin color as you likes the song and they end up singing along to the song because
they can't
the
sing
N word is in the song, are they wrong for singing
They're-
it
they're-
if black people are singing it?
They're wrong. It's some stuff that you just can't do, and some stuff some people can't do.
But it's in the song and they like it and they associate themselves with the culture. So is it wrong for them to also sing
I
it?
mean, it's not necessarily, and that's another thing. It depends on how you say it. You can say that in different, like, people use it to communicate with their friends, and some people use it as a racial slur.
And how do you know the difference? How do you know when someone is using it as a racial slur?
Just off the content, like, of what they're saying.
All right, well, that's really interesting because I mean, I heard a lot of people saying that it's time for black people to own the N word because, like what you said, it's been used, as a derogatory term for years and being thrown in black people's face, and now they're owning it. They're embracing the term and saying, "Fine, I'll say my N," and give you a fist pump or something like that. But at the end of the day, how do we then, kind of portray or convey the message that we don't like that term being used on us if we are also using it, even though we're saying we're owning it. But if we're also using it, people are also going to just throw it around because we're using it too.
Yeah.
Don't you think we should maybe stop using it so that no one is offended?
I feel like nobody other than us should be offended about that word. Why would a person that's not black, why would you get offended? Don't make no sense.
Because again, we're taking it back to the idea of culture and what's being established. And I think I keep referring back to the hip hop culture because I know it's a very popular space where people feel to express themselves and write lyrics that portray a certain message, maybe for music videos that convey a certain message. So I'd imagine a white person like an Eminem wanting to use the N word or sag his pants because he relates with the culture. But again, like what you're saying, it's not right because he's not black. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So if you're black, then you can use it.
Yeah. That's my opinion. I feel like if you're not black, you shouldn't say the N word.
Okay. And all right, that's really cool. And also, you guys at home, let us know what you think. Is it okay for someone to use the N word? As a black person, is it okay for a white person to use it? And is there a different context as well where you can pick up if it's being polite or not? If someone says the N word smiling, does it mean that they're not in any way, being derogatory or mean to you? Remember the number is 240-455-0096. You're more than welcome to call in, and we're also going to be receiving a call from one of our callers, so make sure you stay tuned and you keep watching. Like I said, today's topic is heated. Yeah, and I really like your opinion as well. I think it's
Thank
good.
you.
All right, we have a caller on the line. Hello, caller.
Hello. Yes, I'd like to know if the cute girl on the left would give a number to her guy who was sagging his pants. Is that something she would let happen?
All right, thank you, caller. Thank you so much for your question. Would you give your number to a man who's sagging his pants? That's an interesting question.
Yeah.
Yeah? Why? Why would you do that?
Cause like I said earlier, it's not about the appearance. It's about, like, I wouldn't judge. If I'm a friendly person, what's wrong with the friend? Nobody never said you had to be my boyfriend. We just friends. So yes, to answer your question, I personally would give my number to a man or boy that sags his pants. I don't really judge anybody. I mean,
Yeah.
if going forward, I don't like some stuff that he might do. Then yeah, but I'm gonna give people chance. People chance.
Okay, all right, fair
Cause he
enough.
might be my husband one day. You never know.
And if he is or becomes your husband, how would you feel when he maybe is dressing your kids and is kind of passing that on to your kids with them sagging their
If we're
pants?
getting older and he's a father, no.
But how will you get him not to sag his pants? If that's been his style, he might feel like, look, you met me like this. You're gonna have to deal with me like this because you accepted me like this from the beginning. And he doesn't want to change that. All right, hold on. We'll get back to that. We have a caller on the line. Hello, caller. Hello. Please speak up. Hello, can you hear me?
Can you hear?
Yes, yes, thank
Can
you.
you hear me?
Yes, yes, what's your question?
Yeah, listen, I just think that this young lady, she got the wrong impression of men. First
Why
of all,
do you say that?
those not men. Men don't walk around sagging pants. Those are boys. Boys who just like boys. At a certain age, you gotta be a man.
Mm.
Scripture says, when I was a boy, I did boy things. When I became a man, I did men things. She's a boy. She want a man. She need to be with a man who knows he's a man. Listen to me. Those men, I'm going to be respectful and say men because of their age, not of their mental capacity, because I believe they're very immature. They are afraid of responsibility, so they dress like boys. They don't wish the susceptibility, the responsibility of being men. These, I'm going to say men again, are running from responsibility.
All right.
They say it to the world, do I look like a man? No, I look like a boy. So why are you going to put men responsibilities on them?
Okay, I think we kind of lost our caller, but we're getting where he's going with this, and I could hear him, and I think he's touching on something that's very interesting, because a lot of the times people differentiate between men and boys, right? And do you think dress code is a worthy enough platform to call someone a boy?
In my opinion, just because you don't sag your pants does not make you a man. Just because you sag your pants don't make you a little boy.
Because I mean, the idea of a man would be someone who takes initiative, who's taking responsibility, who.
That just goes back to what I said earlier, judging a book by its cover.
Yeah.
Say if a boy sags his pants, he might be a straight A student in school, whether someone that has their pants pulled up get straight F's.
But we heard our caller. Our caller quoted scripture, so he went in. He said, when I was a boy, I did childish things. When I was a child, I did childish things. I grew those things. And I think he's also pushing the idea of people outgrowing certain habits. And I think he views that as a habit that is done by young people or young children. And when someone reaches a certain age, then they're kind of expected to outgrow that. But what you're saying is, look, you can have your pants pulled up, but that doesn't mean you're a responsible man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just like that.
Very, very interesting, guys. Do remember to keep calling in. This is a call-in show. And, of course, our number is right here, 240-455-0096. And we will still also be getting a call from an educator who will be giving us her opinion on this very interesting conversation and topic. I want to move it over a bit to what I touched on briefly, which is women being called names by men. And women own it now as well. I think it goes back to even the N word, because now women call themselves, hey my B, hey girl, how you doing, and the B word is just easily thrown around. And what's your take on that as well? Is it okay for women to own it? And if men call them that, then it's not okay?
I feel like if you comfortable around your friends and y'all decide to call each other that, it's cool because y'all comfortable with saying that around each other. Like it's no bad blood with you or with no bad blood with your friend.
Mm.
But someone like a man that doesn't know you at all to call you that, I feel like that's disrespectful. Somebody that don't know nothing about me, probably don't even know my last name, calling me out my name. No.
It's not okay. But
Mhm.
say, I mean, say for example, that's also someone who maybe went to the strip club and had a one night stand with that girl and slept with her, and now he's going back to tell his friends, "Yo, that girl, she's a B, because I slept with her, I hit it, first
Yeah,
night,
it's like
you know."
being like very disrespectful. You like her name's coming up in a disrespectful way, not a good way.
Mm.
So it's like it's disrespectful either way.
Yeah. And men aren't necessarily called these terms when they do the same thing. And I think that's another thing that also adds to the disrespect, because maybe he can sleep with however many women he does, one night stands, and there's no term, no actual term for men who do those things. But women, either in the strip club or anything else like that, they will be called those kinds of terms. So you're saying if people are friends, then it's okay for them to be like, "Hey, my B, how you doing?"
Yeah.
But as soon as a man they don't know comes into the picture and wants to throw that around, then it's actually not okay.
Right.
All right, I hear you. Well, we have a caller on the line. Hello, caller. Sorry, can you please just speak up a bit? Oh dear, it sounds like we can't really hear our caller. Hello, caller.
So my boy, that's my friend. I say, that's my, N word. I'm not going to say it out loud on TV. I don't want you to get fined or anything like that. But
Can you just
that's
can
my
I
boy.
interject
That's
a bit?
my friend.
Can you just
You
maybe
know.
repeat your question? We didn't hear the first part.
Well, I guess I didn't really have a question. I just wanted to call in and just give my opinion on it.
All right, yeah. What were you saying?
I was saying that the N word has become a term of endearment now
Mm.
for me and my friends. My black friends. I can say, hey, that's my N word, and I mean that's my boy. That's my friend. It means we go way back.
Mm.
So I feel like it's changed from that negative stereotype to become something of something more positive in the black community. I think it's really older generations that got a problem.
Mm. All right. Well, thank you so much for that opinion. That was really interesting. He says it's become, something that's being embraced in the black community. And I think I want to just throw it back to you. Is it what you were saying about only black people having the right to use it?
I agree with the caller that just called.
Mm. And so if a white person says it, if someone who's Indian says it, or someone else,
No.
even if they're saying it with a smile, even
No.
if they're like, "What's up, ma?" Giving you
Nope.
high five.
Nope. Never.
Okay, really, really interesting indeed. Thank you so much once again
you.
for joining us. Thank you
You're
so much for
welcome.
giving your opinion. You're such an awesome young lady, and I just
Thank
want to wish you
you,
all the
thank
best with all your endeavors. Really, really awesome interviewing you and just having a conversation with you. And of course, thank you all so much for tuning in to all our calls. We really enjoy hearing your opinions and even just some of your questions as well for my lady over here. And remember, you are still watching Let's Talk with me, Destiny Dorling, on In the Community Network. So make sure that you guys tune in next time for another awesome live session where we'll be talking about things happening in your community and all around the world. From me to you, remember to keep it in the community.